Wife's cheating ended in divorce and jail. It was a conversation I wasn't supposed to hear. I was supposed to be at a customer's place that day, but the customer called and canceled. As a result, I was sitting in my cubicle doing some paperwork. It was early, about 7:15. It didn't start until 8, but a lot of the guys came in early to get coffee and socialize before work. I heard Brad and Bill come in and start talking about the latest idiocy promulgated by management. And then they touched on last night's match before moving on to the inevitable discussion about women. By the time they got to the topic of women, Brad and Bill were joined by Sam, Al, Josh, and Donnie. I was sitting around the corner, so no one walked by me and no one knew I was there. They discussed all the girls in the office and what they would like to do with each of them, and then Josh said, "Suppose you could have one. Who would you choose?" "I would choose Mary because of her big boobs. My wife's breasts are so small she barely needs to wear a bra," Brad said. "Ted chose Sally because she had the sexiest ass he had ever seen." "What about you, Sam?" Ted asked. "It's easy, but she doesn't work here." "Who's that, then?" "Rob's wife. Too bad you'll never have that opportunity." "Why do you say that? She can be had. I saw it in her eyes. Everyone in the room could do it, probably all at the same time." "You mean all together?" "Maybe, or just one-on-one. Bring her to the party with Rob and I can make love to her. I'm willing to bet that 15 minutes later Brad could make love to her, and before the party is over, I'm willing to bet she'll make love to everyone at least once." "You're crazy," Bill said. "No," Sam replied. "She can be had, and Rob knows it. Why else do you think he's hovering over her? He doesn't dare let her out of his sight." It wasn't true. I was so stupidly in love with her I couldn't bear to be apart from her. "I'm telling you guys, you can have her." "Sam, you're so full of garbage, it's unbelievable." Further conversation was interrupted when Harry, our manager, yelled out, "Hey, it's 8 o'clock, where are my guys?" The brief meeting was over and the guys split up to begin their daily labor. That night on the way home, I wondered why Sam was so sure he could get to my wife. She was gorgeous, and that fact alone guaranteed that she would attract male attention, and she really liked to flirt, and it made the boys sniff her out. I could be wrong, but I didn't think Sam could get her. He just wasn't her type at all. Still, this was an opportunity for me to try to do something about it. If I played it right, I might even make $1 or $2. It would take some labor on my part, but I just might be able to make the situation work for me. The first order of business was to get Jenny involved. When I got home, Jenny had already made dinner, and after a little talk about how our days were going, I asked her, "You really want to go to Cancun? How far are you willing to go for that?" "What kind of question is that?" "I think I know a way we can get the money without borrowing it or going into debt, but it will depend on what you're willing to do." "What are you talking about?" I told her what I overheard. "I want to take advantage of it. What I want to do is invite them all over here for a barbecue, and then I want you to pretend you're ready to make love to 1 or 2 of them." "You're crazy, Rob. Listen to me, okay? You're gorgeous, and every man you know wants to get in your pants. You flirt a lot, and it makes a couple of them think they have a chance. I suggest we have a barbecue, and you do your best to make them think they can get you, if only they can find a way to get me out of the way. Then I'll schedule a poker game for next week. I'll have Bill start another conversation like the one I overheard this morning, and as soon as Sam or anyone else says they're sure they can get you, Bill will bet them that they can't. We'll set it up so that he'll push them to make the bet, and then he'll say, 'Okay, I'm so sure you can't do it that I'm willing to bet you $500 that it won't work out. You can try your hand at it. I'll get Rob out of the way so there'll be plenty of time to make the attempt. You'll get them ready ahead of time at the barbecue, and they'll be confident they can do it and take the bet. During the poker game, you'll run them all out, and we'll make $3,000 to pay for the trip to Cancun.' What am I supposed to do at the barbecue? Continue your usual flirting and go a little further." "What do you mean, go a little further?" "That would be totally up to you. Anything but making love to them." "So you're saying I should let myself be groped, maybe do some heavy kissing and send everyone home with a box of blue balloons?" "Yeah, that's about right. I want them to leave after the barbecue confident that they can sleep with you if they get the chance." How are you going to get Bill to go for it? I'll offer him $500. That'll still leave us $2,500 for the trip. How about this? Do you think you can do it? Oh, I can do it, honey. And it might even be fun. But you realize there's a downside to it. What do you mean? They'll all leave with a case of blue balls, but they'll leave me hotter than a forest fire. After they're gone, I'll do my best to put that fire out. You better start taking your vitamins now to prepare. The next day at work, I took Bill aside, told him I overheard the conversation, and then told him what I wanted to do. A big smile appeared on his face, and he told me he was willing to participate. You know, I think very highly of Jenny, and it really pissed me off when Sam said it would be easy to sleep with her. Bill had built himself into the project. All that was left was to get the guys ready. It was too late to have a barbecue the following weekend, so I scheduled a week later and got everyone to come. After that, all that was left to do was wait and see. As far as I could tell, the barbecue was a success. Jenny was wearing a pair of Daisy Dukes with her buttocks sticking out from underneath. She was braless under a deep-cut top, and I could see the guys' fascination. I noticed that every now and then, Jenny and each of the guys would disappear for 5 or 10 minutes, and the next time I saw a guy, he was excited about what was going on. I kind of casually scheduled a poker game for the following Thursday, and all the guys said they'd come. They all went, just knowing that Jenny belonged to them if they could get me out of the way, and true to her word, Jenny almost made love to me to death that night. Bill made his move Monday morning. I made sure I was late for work so they wouldn't have to sweat about me eavesdropping on them, but I had a voice-activated tape recorder in my cubicle to catch the conversation. The conversation started with everyone commenting on how hot Jenny looked at the barbecue, and Sam said, "I'm telling you guys, she's available if only we can get to her when Rob isn't around." Everyone said they agreed with him, but it was almost impossible to get me out of the way. And that's when Bill stepped in. "You don't stand a chance of getting her." "Come on, Bill. Everybody but you knows you can have her. I think you're in love with her or something, and you're looking at her through rose-colored glasses." "Oh, yeah? Are you taking responsibility for what you say?" "What do you mean?" "The poker game on Thursday. I'll get Rob out of the way and you take your best shot. I bet each of you $500 you won't even kiss. You got $3,000 you can afford to lose? Hey, bets are on the table. You guys are so sure, suck it up or shut up." One by one, the guys said they were in. "Okay," Bill said. "I'll slip Rob something that'll knock him out. Once he's down, you can all do your best. Just one rule, she's got to be ready. No getting her drunk, no forcing her to do anything. Agreed?" "Yes, Bill, we do." On game night, I made Jenny dressed like hell. High heels, mini-skirt, and a low-cut blouse. We said she was supposed to go out with her girlfriends while we played cards, but things got derailed at the last minute, and she decided to stay in and act as hostess. We all sat down, dealt our cards, and started the game. We were on line 3 when the phone rang, and Jenny picked it up. "It's for you, Rob. It's Sally." Sally was my brother's wife. I got up and went to the phone and came back a couple minutes later. "My brother had been in an accident and had been taken to the hospital. I'll have to leave, but there's no reason to end the game." I kissed Jenny, told her I'd call her from the hospital, and left. I drove to Murphy's bar, had a beer, and then called home and told Jenny to tell the guys I wouldn't be back until morning. Dan has a concussion, and right now he's still out of it. Sally should be home with the kids, so I'll have to stay here until he wakes up. The doctors say it could be a few hours. I'll go from here to work in the morning. I told her I loved her and would call her as soon as he woke up. Then I called Sally and thanked her for calling and told her I owed her a favor. I had a couple more beers and stopped for the night at Motel 6. At 6, I called Jenny and told her Dan was awake and seemed to be okay. At work, a smiling Bill came up to me and handed me an envelope. "There's $3,000 in there. You didn't take your share out?" "Oh no, Rob, it was good for me. Spend the extra on Jenny when you get to Cancun." "Did everything go okay after I left?" "I'm sorry your brother got hurt, but it made things easier for us. If we'd used that drug, you'd have been in the house longer and it would have delayed them a bit. But with you gone, they thought they were free. The guys leaving your house last night were a little disappointed. Jenny led them until they were sure they were going to make her pull the train, and then she ran them off. God, it was great to see Sam walk away with her tail between her legs. Around 10, I told my boss I wasn't feeling well and went home. Jenny would be at work until 5 and wouldn't be back until 5:45. I went down to the basement workshop, opened the toolbox, and pulled out 5 voice-activated tape recorders I had stashed in the house in front of the barbecue. I rewound the first one and pressed the replay button. I heard heavy breathing and what could have been a kiss. And then Brad said, "God, you're so hot. Do we have time for quick sex?" "I'm afraid not," Jenny replied. "Maybe at the poker game." The sound of the door opening and closing, and then the tape recorder shut off. A second later, it started up again. "Did anyone see us come in?" "No," Sam answered. "You told me to be careful, so I made sure there was no one around." "Here? We're going to do it here?" "No, silly. We're not doing it before the poker game. I just want to see what's in store for me." There was the sound of a zipper being unzipped, and Jenny said, "Whoa! Clean up, baby. We need to get back to the party," Jenny said, and then there was the sound of a door opening and closing. There was nothing else on this tape recorder, so I moved on to the next one. The door opened and closed, and then I heard Al say, "How much time do we have?" "Exactly long enough for you to show me what to expect from my poker game." The sounds of clothes falling to the floor, and then they made love. I wish we had more time, but we have to rush to the party. More sounds of clothes, and then the sounds of kissing, followed by Jenny saying, "I don't want to wait until Thursday, baby, but we'll have to." There was nothing else on that tape recorder, and neither was the next one. I already knew what was on the 5th tape, so I put them back in the toolbox, went upstairs and got the tapes from the 4 cameras I'd put in the bedrooms and living room. The tape from the living room showed me leaving and Jenny going to the window and pulling back the curtain to look out. After a minute, she turned around and said, "That's it. He's gone." "How do you want to do this?" Bill asked. "Do you all know what this is all about?" Jenny asked. $500 each, and never tell anyone about it, understand? Everyone agreed. And then Jenny said, "Give the money to Bill, and then take the cards off. The oldest card goes first." They played the cards, and Donnie was first. "I want you to lie right here on the poker table first, and then we'll carry you into the bedroom." As I watched the tape, I picked up my cell phone and quickly dialed a number. "John, it's Rob. I think we got lucky in a big way. We were only supposed to catch Bill, but we caught Bill and 5 others. I'm watching the tape right now." "Yeah, keep reading the papers and I'll see you Tuesday." "Okay, I'll see you then." I disconnected and went back to watching the tape. Donnie was next making love to Jenny. Al was next. "You ready for this, baby?" "Oh, God, yes. I've been looking forward to this so much." No sooner had Al stepped aside than Brad took his place. "Let Brad finish, and then I want to go to the bedroom where I'll be more comfortable." The recording from the bedroom camera caught them as they walked through the door. Jenny walked over to the dresser, pulled a jelly bean out of the top drawer, and walked over to the bed. She laid Josh on the bed and then called out to Bill. For the first time, I felt some anger at what was happening. Just then, the phone rang, and it was me calling Jenny to let her know I was going to stay at the hospital and go to work from there. "He's not coming home, guys, so we have time until you go to work, if you can hold out that long." By 2 a.m., everyone was very tired, and everyone but Bill got dressed to leave. "When can we do it again?" Al asked. "Whenever you have 500. When everyone had left, Jenny and Bill got into bed, and Jenny snuggled up to Bill. "Was I a big enough cheater for my lover?" "Oh, God, yes. When I told you it was my biggest fantasy, I never thought you'd actually do it." "I never thought I'd do it either, but I really want to go to Cancun, and the chance to get money to pay for the trip was too good to pass up." "I'm really sorry it's going to be without me." Lover boy, maybe next time." A few minutes later, they were asleep. When Jenny got home from work, I was sitting on the back porch, sipping a beer. She came out, sat next to me, leaned over and kissed me. "How was your day?" she asked. "To tell you the truth, one of the best." "Oh, did something good happen?" "I think so. I think I got rid of some extra baggage and saved a lot of money." "How'd you do that?" "I taped your meeting with the guys last night." I looked at her. "Why are you so pale, my love? Maybe you're surprised that a loving hubby isn't as stupid as you thought." "I'm sure I don't know what you mean." "You don't? Well, let me explain it to you. I found out about you and Bill 3 months ago. I went to a divorce lawyer and got some bad news. It doesn't matter if you're a cheater in round heels. In this state, divorce results in a 50-50 division of property. The courts tend to side with the women, which means I'd probably end up paying your attorney's fees and all court costs. It was a price I wasn't willing to pay to get rid of your philandering wife. There was a way around it, though. If I could catch you in the act of committing a crime against me, I could drop you, and it would only cost me my attorney's fees and court costs, and I would end up with all the assets. I just couldn't figure out how to do it until you started insisting on going to Cancun. Then I overheard a conversation between Brad, Sam, and the guys, and wondered if I could use it to my advantage. I gave you a song and dance about betting with the guys, and you and your lover took the ball and ran with it. I've been taping all your phone calls for 3 months now, trying to catch you doing anything I could use against you, and I know all about how you and Bill wanted to make love to the guys at work. I had 4 voice recorders hidden in the house during the barbecue, and I have a tape of the whole last night. But those tapes, as good as they are not the kind that will send you to jail. The tape recorder I had on my phone line will do that. Don't go, I'll be right back. I got up and went into the house and got another beer, and then picked up the tape recorder I had left in the study. I went back to the porch and sat on the swing. That's a good story, the one that's going to get you and Bill in jail. Here, listen to it. I did a little editing to remove any hint that I was involved in setting anything up, and I hit the repeat button. You've decided to let them all make love to you? Not just that. How do we do that? You show everyone your breasts, and that will distract Rob while I add to his drink. The drugs will knock him off his feet and he won't remember a thing when he wakes up. While he's gone, you can do whatever you want. Punch him in the corns with a beer bottle, whatever you want. He won't know anything until he wakes up. I like the beer bottle idea, though. Maybe after I'm done with all the guys and they leave, we can have a little fun with Rob. I hit the stop button. I scrolled through the tape for my attorney, and he said you and Bill are charged with conspiracy to commit a felony. Knowingly using drugs is a criminal act, isn't it? Isn't it? Well, now you know it is. Why are you so quiet, Jenny? You haven't said a word. Still stunned to find out the old dumb nuts aren't as stupid as you thought? Doesn't matter. I'm not going to listen to you anyway. According to John, my lawyer, this tape alone is enough to send you and Bill to jail. But you and Bill did even better last night. I had 4 cameras hidden in the house that recorded everything you did. I have video of you talking. You all know the terms of the deal, right? $500 each. Give your money to Bill and then cut the cards to see who goes first. And there's a video of each man handing Bill the money. That makes you guilty. The legal terms are extortion and pandering. You're ripe, honey. I was looking at her and she wasn't looking at me. She was looking anywhere but at me, and I was tempted to ask where her contempt for me was coming from all of a sudden, but then I decided I didn't really want to know. Here's the thing. John filed the divorce papers, and I asked for everything. House, savings, certificates of deposit, everything but your car. You and I will go to John's office on Tuesday, and you'll sign the divorce papers, accepting everything as it is and agreeing not to contest the divorce. Once that's done, we leave John's office and go our separate ways. If you don't sign those papers on Tuesday, John will give the records to the ADA, and you and Bill will end up in criminal court and most likely end up in jail. Your choice, and I need to know about it by 4 o'clock Monday night so I can let John know we'll be there on Tuesday. If he doesn't hear from me by the time his office closes at 5, he'll see the DA first thing Tuesday morning. Still nothing you want to tell me, Jenny? Well, you might want to discuss it with Bill because if you go there, he'll go with you. Next to the phone is my lawyer's card. I'm suing Bill for alienation of affection, and he might want to call John and see if it's possible to settle out of court. I got up and left her sitting there. For the rest of the weekend, we tried to stay out of each other's sight. But just before I left for work on Monday, I reminded her of the 4 o'clock deadline. I was in a good mood when I walked into the morning coffee clutch in Brad's office. "Hey guys," I said, "I've got something you really need to see. Let's go to the conference room. There's a TV and a VCR. The only one not in attendance was Bill. "That's cool, guys. The most disgusting video I've ever seen." You could hear a fly fart as Donnie, Bill, and Jenny filled the screen. "It's great, isn't it? Notice how clear it is? The whole tape is as clear as a bell. You can tell who the players are." None of them turned to me until I said, "I was so pleased with how well the tape turned out that I made several copies and sent them to each of your wives with a special messenger. I specified delivery by 8 o'clock in the morning, so most should be delivered by now. I called ahead of time to let your wives know what it would be. Al, your wife asked me to send her copy to her father. He's a lawyer, isn't he? Oh, and Sam. Debbie asked me to send a copy to her office. She seems to think that because you get home from work before her, it might disappear, and she really, really wants to see it. Any questions?" No? I can't believe no one wants to talk about this." Jenny couldn't talk to me either. "I'm not going to talk to you, asshole. I'm just going to kick your ass," Donnie muttered. "Go ahead, Donnie, but know one thing. In the mood I'm in right now, you're going to have to kill me to keep me from killing you. And that's my promise. Anybody else have anything to say? No? All right, guys, it's 8 o'clock. Time to get started. Bill never showed up for work that day, and all day I got nothing but angry looks from everyone else. At 3:30, Harry called me into his office and asked me what was going on, and I told him the whole story. "Would you be able to work with them?" "I won't have a problem with them because I got even with them. The question is, can they work with me? I won't tolerate dissension in the office if it interferes with my work." "Tell that to them, Harry, not to me. But I'll tell you this. If you decide to fire me because of what they did and my reaction to it, you'd better make sure my severance package is very good, or you'll find I have a good lawyer." "Are you threatening me, Rob?" "No, I'm just saying that if you fire me and not them, I'll sue. I'll do my job the same way I always have. And you haven't had any complaints about my work in over a decade. You fired me because those assholes won't work with me, and that's the same as taking their side, and I won't stand for it." At 3:50, Jenny called. "Bill says we have to fight. He says you don't have a good enough reason to stand your ground." "Okay, Jenny, remember, it was your choice." I hung up the phone and called John and let him know Jenny's decision, and he says he's dribbling the ball. Bill came to work the next day and tried to avoid me. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I got a call from Jenny. "What's going on, Rob? I've just been served with divorce papers and a restraining order. I can't come near you or enter our house." "So?" "It's my house too, Rob." "Talk to Judge Jenny. According to the records in my attorney's possession, you intended to do me bodily harm, and I told my attorney I don't want you anywhere near me." "I need clothes and things, Rob." "Let me know when you want to come over. If it fits into my schedule, I'll arrange to have a sheriff's deputy there, and I'll let you pick up personal items, but only personal items. Understand? Why are you being like this? Why are you doing this to me?" "It's called getting even with Jenny. It's partial payback for what you and Bill did to me behind my back." The next day at 10:24, 2 sheriff's deputies showed up at the office and took Bill into custody. When they took him out in handcuffs, his face was pale. I called John to let him know, and he told me that things don't usually happen this quickly, but he told the judge that since Bill worked at the same place I did, he feared for my safety, and that must have taken things up a notch. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I got a call from Judy, Jenny's sister. I just got a call from Jenny. She's in jail. What's going on, Rob, and why is she calling me and not you? All I can tell you, Judy, is what I'm hearing. I hope they keep her in there for a couple more years. She called you because she knew I'd hang up on her for cheating on me. Cheating? Oh my God! I warned her, but she wouldn't listen. You knew? Everyone knew. Everyone but you. Thank you for letting me know. What do you expect, Rob? She's my sister. Take care of yourself, Judy. And I hung up the phone. The next day, I had just gotten back from lunch when I got a call from Jason Milner. I'm your wife's court-appointed attorney. She just had a bail hearing and bail was set at $35,000. She needs $3,500 for a bail bondsman, and he wants you to put up your house as collateral. Considering the circumstances that landed her in jail, Mr. Milner, I'd say you have a better chance of winning the lottery than ever. The house is half hers, sir. That's fine. She can put up her half. The guarantor won't agree to that. That's what I'm counting on. You won't help her? Not one bit, Mr. Milner. I gave her a chance to walk away from this mess, but she let her boyfriend talk her out of it. Let her rot in jail for all I care. She'd like to see you. I can do that. Seeing her in an orange jumpsuit with a P on the back makes me feel better. What are visiting hours? I was sitting on the other side of the screen when she was admitted. She was in an orange jumpsuit with chains around her ankles and handcuffed. I asked about it later and found out that it didn't matter who you were or what you were wearing, as standard operating procedure was to move all prisoners in handcuffs and ankle chains. They removed her handcuffs but left the leg chains on and brought her over to the seat across from me. She sat down, looked at me, and cried, "Get me out of here, Rob. Please get me out." No way, Jenny. I gave you a choice that would have kept you from this, but you obeyed your lover instead of me. I don't know if he seduced you or if you dragged him into your affair, but the bottom line is that he cost you your marriage, and now he's costing you your freedom. You could have signed the papers John had prepared and walked away, but you let Bill talk you out of it to get Bill to bail you out somehow. When you're found guilty, which John says is inevitable, I'll still get the divorce and everything I asked for, so I'm kind of glad it's happening this way. I like seeing you in chains. Enjoy life, Jenny. You gave up a good marriage for the privilege of being here, so you should at least try to enjoy it. I stood up and walked out of the visiting room when she screamed, "Please, Rob, please don't leave me here." There was a young man standing in the hallway with a briefcase. When he saw me, he walked up to me and introduced himself as Jason Milner. "We need to talk before this mess goes too far." "Go ahead." "I spoke to your wife and Mr. Bolton, and they told me this whole thing was your idea, and I'm afraid I'm going to have to tell it in court. Why don't we see if there isn't some way of settling this case without a trial?" "How long have you been doing this, Mr. Milner?" 5 years. Why? And in all those years, you never realized that your clients will say anything they think might help their chances? I have audio and video of their conspiracy against me, Mr. Milner. What do they have to back up their claims? I gave them both a chance to keep this civil suit alive, and they both chose to ignore it. I'll see you in court, Mr. Milner. Bill rented out his house and put up the deposit, and when Jenny found out he was out and she wasn't going to be out, she was furious. She turned to Bill and told him it was his idea, and in exchange for a plea bargain, she agreed to testify against him. Her testimony, backed up by the tapes, was enough. The trial lasted less than 24 hours, and the jury was out for less than an hour. As part of the plea bargain, Jenny pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 1 year with credit for time served, 4 months, and given probation and ordered to perform 500 hours of community service for the remainder. Bill pleaded not guilty and fought it all the way through and got 3 years, and I spend most of my days hoping to hear that some huge dude named Bubba bent him in the shower. When he gets out, he's still got my alienation of affection lawsuit waiting for him. John said we could go on even with Bill in jail, but it might end too quickly. The longer I drag out his torment, the happier I'll be. Since Jenny was found guilty, I got a divorce and everything I asked for. I have no idea where she is or what she's doing. I know she lost her job while she was in prison. I see her sister Judy from time to time, but by unspoken agreement, Jenny is not mentioned. Of the 5 guys in the game with Jenny, all were divorced within 6 months, and their wives stripped them. 2 were fired within 6 months, 2 others quit within the next year, and Sam made the mistake of waiting for me in the parking lot the day he quit. It cost him a broken nose, 2 broken ribs, and 5 missing teeth. I was in pain for a couple more days after that, but as weird as it sounds, it was a good pain, a satisfying pain. Of those, only Donnie still works with me, and we're polite when necessary and avoid each other whenever possible. $3,000? That paid for my 2 weeks in Cancun while Jenny was in jail. The biggest surprise in this whole case? That I got away with it. Milner was right, I set it up, but I had no idea it would turn out as well as it did. All I wanted was a divorce. What can I say? Sometimes you just get lucky, but it does feel good. I remembered that old TV show, The A-Team, and what the Colonel, played by George Peppard, used to say, "I love it when a plan comes together. The end. Subscribe to my channel." Thank you.